slides. Samir basically took what I was going to say as far as how do you get to the Fast Start meeting, right? So we got that situated. So I'm going to talk about what to do, how to do it, but we're not going to go into like details of all the conversations. I'm just really going to highlight like what's really important to highlight. And there's a saying in our company that the best position that you can be in before RVP is a field trainer. So when you become a field trainer, that's when you qualify to do a Fast Start meeting for the newest person. Because you yourself deserve to get trained by the best trainer, don't you? So you can't train anybody until you become the best trainer first by watching and following your trainer who's getting results for you. And it's a two-way street, right? So I love the fact that our business is all about when the new person gets better, you get better, right, above that person. Instead of your boss wants you to get paid the least, but you want to get paid the most, right? So that's pretty cool. And raise your hand if you're in a position at your job where your boss wants you to get paid the most. You're your own boss. See, so nobody in this room raised their hand. So we should definitely be doing the best for our teammates, and of course our new teammates should be doing the best to be coachable. Don't you agree?
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about what I go into, what mentality I go into the Fast Start meeting with. So everybody, remember, wants more time. People come into the op meeting and they're like, man, I work so much, I feel overworked, underpaid, right? That means I want more time and I want more money. What does that mean? That means I want more freedom. So everyone's coming in eventually to get more freedom sooner or later, right? So with everybody's coming in with that mentality, then I should be able to see Shondell as a future regional vice president. I should be able to treat her as such until she shows me she really doesn't want the freedom that she says she wants, right? So the better the new person does, again, the better you do. And next, Thomas. So there's a couple of parts in the presentation that I'm going to go in the same order that I go through in the Fast Start meeting. So, number one, did you watch the orientation video? So why is this important? In Samir's amazing orientation video, if they actually watched it, you'll be able to go through the Fast Start meeting fairly quickly and get to making those calls and booking their appointments for them to show them that the business really does work. When people come in, there's two fears that they have. They have, does a company work? Can I believe in the company, or can I believe in myself? Those are the two fears that people have, right? You need to make sure that they can believe in the company and make sure you believe in themselves. They believe in themselves. Believing in the company and believing in themselves happens in the kitchen table appointment, in a qualified appointment. So the purpose of the Fast Start meeting is to get to that qualified appointment. Everything else in between I'm going to go through is pretty much, I don't want to call it fluff, but it's just to prepare them mentally to know what's going to happen, right? And what's coming out for them. So if they don't watch the orientation video, now you have all of these slew of questions that would have been answered, right, in their own hour of time, that now you're spending an extra hour of your time when you could be just showing them how the business works, right? So in Samir's video, he goes through how to, qualify a potential client. What's not a qualified person and would be better off going to the opportunity meeting, getting invited to the opportunity meeting. He goes through all of the characteristics of the potential recruit that we want to attract and want to bring into our team. He goes through, how to figure out what are the three things to start a business with, and a lot of other psychological moves, right? So when I go into the orientation, there's expectations up front that I'm going to talk about, because and I say this up front to Tia, the new recruit, right? Hey Tia, write these three things down. If you do these good, you'll be fine. If you don't do these at all, you'll fail. Is that fair? Black and white? Perfect. I say it up front. So the communication part, I want to make sure that we establish a 5 to 10 minute relationship with each other. So if I text you, Tia, I expect you to get back to me within 5 to 10 minutes. Because when you text me, you can expect me to get back to you within 5 to 10 minutes. Unless, respectively, we're each in like a doctor's appointment or, a job shift, or you're just in a meeting in general, right? And you're just not by your phone. But most of the time, if somebody texts you, maybe you'll miss a call, but if somebody texts you, eventually you're seeing that text, right? Some people act like they don't respond to the text, or they hit you with, oh, I thought I sent it. I thought I sent it. 48 hours later, right? Listen, if it was that important for you to grow, you wouldn't be hitting, a coach with that, right? I don't hit Shaq with that. If Shaq calls me, I always text him right away. Hey, in a meeting. I actually have an automatic text back now saying, hey, call you back after this meeting. Because I'm always in a meeting, and I want to let Shaq know I'm worth the time to invest in, right? Because I want to grow. Number 2, coachability. I want the new person to tell me what coachability means to them first. Because, again, we want to make sure we're on the same page and understanding. So some people say, oh, coachability is being able to coach somebody else. But how can you coach somebody else if you're not coachable yourself, right? You have to be a good student first before you can teach somebody how to be a good student. And you can't give what you don't have. You can't teach what you don't know, right? And you can't ask people to do something you've never done before. So this right here is a make or break, because if they say, I want all of these goals, and I'm telling you how to get to those goals, but then you're fighting me, you're not coachable, right? And I don't say I'm coachable. Shaq tells me if I'm coachable. I don't need to tell Shaq that I'm coachable, because Shaq will tell me that, right? He can see that. So I always ask for permission. Hey, Peter, do I have permission to coach you? If I get permission to coach you, that means that one day when something's not going right in your life, okay, forget about the business, but your life, and you don't pick up my call, or you got something going on, or you don't book appointments, or you're not making the amount of money because you're not doing the activity you need, I need to be able to coach you so you have the right mentality and you can fix that, right? Because most of our issues are going to be money anyways. If you can all make an extra $1,000 than what you're making now, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Number 3 is always show up. I always tell the recruit, hey, Adrian, put a star next to this one. Showing up is the lowest level commitment. This is my exact conversation. Showing up is the lowest level commitment. If you don't show up, Nora, I'm moving all your client appointments. Because it's not fair to the client, and it's not fair to you, and it's not fair to me. If you don't show up to your team meetings, then how can I invest time in you and make it fair for the teams that do show up, no matter what they have going through, right? Everybody has things going on in their life. Wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to invest time in you if you invest time in yourself. I do understand there are emergencies. If there's a funeral, we know that in advance. If you have COVID, God forbid, stay home, right? If you fell down the steps of a 2-story window at a frat house like somebody did last January, they're okay. Don't call me, text me, let me know you're alive, right? But if your dog eats your homework, you forgot to do your laundry, you are having a fight with a spouse or a significant other, that's not a good excuse not to show up to your team meetings, fair? So that's the exact conversation. So if you don't show up, you're not shocked that I'm moving your appointments. I got other people that were there, I need to invest time in because they deserve my time, right? So it's a win-win. Just like if I don't show up for you, Mrs. New Recruit, you don't, like, you're not gonna want to work with me either, right? All right. So next, scheduling. I want to know when you cannot do, right, Primerica, your own business. Meaning right now your job might be the one that pays your bills. So I need to work around that as efficiently as possible and respect your current schedule as much as possible so I can still get you to those goals we're going to talk about next. That is my mentality going into here. But there is an element of, hey, if you work on Saturday, I'm still going to ask you to move your schedule Saturday. Because I'm not going to be able to sit here and promise you 2,000 to 4,000 part-time if you're not showing up to get the best training, right? So there is a medium here. So I tell them, write this down, Saturdays and Tuesdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. That's in Tyson's Corner, and then, of course, to each is his own. If you guys are in, like, Reston or other office locations for Tuesday night, fill the slot in, but that's our address for our DC. Don't show up, okay? Don't show up. If you're not on our team, don't show up to DC. Unless you want to be in traffic, right? But that's 7 to 8:30. Now, Brianna, we all show up at 9 a.m. We are a winning team. We won the leadership award 31 quarters in a row, but we actually start the meeting itself at 9:30. Why do you think we show up at 9 versus 9:30 when we actually start?
So we can talk to everybody, get to know them.
true. Yeah, that's true. Haven't you ever heard showing up early is on time and showing up on time is late? Aren't there traffic patterns that sometimes are out of our control? Aren't there other things that are out of control, like the car breaking down or you lost your keys in the trash can or something, right? So those things that are out of our control, we're not going to be able to control that, right? We can't control getting there early and planning to be there early. So I'm conditioning you already as a new person to show up early. So I already said 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. I expect you to be in here. If there's an emergency and you running late, 9:05, cool, right? Nora texted me today. She goes, hey, I'm going to be there at 9:05. Because she knows if her guest walks in before her, I'm getting on her, right? So now Blitz. So Mrs. New Recruit, you see Blitz here. I really hone in on Blitz, guys, because I don't want the new recruit, people will only quit because they don't make money. Or they don't believe in themselves too soon, right? Whatever. But there should never be a situation where the recruit doesn't make enough money because you didn't communicate to them how to do the work, right? You're not going to tell me, Jen Lee, you didn't try to help me the most, right? I might push you to set appointments. You might be a little bit uncomfortable, but you're going to make money. And if you make $1,000 in an hour, are you going to be mad at me for pushing you? No. Absolutely not, right? So the Blitz is very important to you. It's a very quick 30 minutes. And when you come on Saturday, you're going to see some people, they kind of scurry off. They never make money here. Don't follow those people. Because at your job, you work harder than other people at your job, don't you? And you should get paid more, but they just don't pay you more, right? So here, the more you do, the better you get paid than the next person that doesn't do what they should be doing. Fair? So everybody is nice here, but not everyone has the same results. So do you want results or do you not want results? So for the Blitz, that's a 30-minute period where we help you learn how to build a profitable schedule on your own time. And if I can teach you how to do that and you follow, you're never going to need a boss ever again, will you? So that's my Blitz conversation. And then I talk about Monday morning. I give examples such as Nora, such as Clarice, such as Nancy, right? Nora, she got a bonus for $650, but she went to district leader, got promoted twice from a rep position within 90 days. Why? Because Nora has accelerated herself by making sure she shows up on Monday. Monday is the icing on the cake, next to Saturday and Tuesday. Big events. If I submit an IBA today on Saturday, I'm telling Tia about May 31st and June 1st up front. So they know their graduation date is that day. Now we fast forward to the Fast Start meeting, and I say, Samir, remember we spoke about May 31st to June 1st? He's going to say, yeah. So I didn't go over that in detail, but that's going to be, again, your graduation, but 10,000 times bigger. We're actually flying in a guy that makes $2 million a year because he has 20 different franchises with our company, and he's going to come teach you one-on-one, and you'll be able to shake his hand one-on-one during your graduation. But the tickets, because the company has this event open to the public gets the tickets for $35. You can get them for me for $25. I already got your ticket up front. So can you get your ticket today? All right, so we get the ticket out today, and then I teach them how to sell their ticket over time. So that way, they can't buy, 10 tickets up front because they just started with us. They're not licensed yet. Then they can just buy a ticket, flip a ticket, buy a ticket, flip a ticket, right? Just like when you serve tables in the restaurant, you want to flip those tables quicker, don't you?
Oh,
Yeah, so that's how I figured that out. I was a server. I figure out their weekly schedule, and I put it on a Google Sheet list, but that's the schedule. So now that I know when they are available, when they're not available, now I want to get to their goals. So number one, I want to figure out what they need to replace their income at their job. Most people, when I do this, their answer to replace their job is about $5,000 to replace their full-time job. Most people, right? Some people $10,000, but for the majority, it's always going to end up to be $5,000 a month, more or less. So no matter what my orientation, our orientation is going to work the same way because everybody pretty much has the same, number. So once I figure out that number, then we want to figure out the goals. Now, this is where I know if you're going to stick here or not. If somebody says my goal is to get a car, and I just want to be able to pay my bills, right? You already have a full-time job, you know, you want to get a car, that can kind of wait, right? You kind of survive that. But if they say, I want to retire my parents, or I want to send my child to a great school, right? Or maybe they're deep in debt and they want to pay off their debt. To each is his own. But if I can, if they say with some type of feeling, and I can feel that that's important to them, then I know they're gonna stick around longer. Because if it's a weak goal, they can get that anywhere. They can work at CVS and achieve that, right? But if you're missing $1,500 a month and you need to make some money, right? You're gonna figure out how to do something here. I wanted to retire my mom, and I did, and that was my first goal. And then I wanted my own place because I didn't want to live with her anymore, right? So at a certain point, you're just like, yeah. But hey, I pay the bills, you know, so whatever. Anyways, this is a make or break. Now, then I asked Tia, would you agree that you're obviously here because your job at CVS cannot fund these goals for you? So you already told me up front, you're never going to reach your goals where you are. So why are you going to quit on me? Why are you going to quit on yourself, you know? So I'm getting that up front. You tell me if your job can help you with that. If your job can, you're probably going to be here part-time, maybe spare time, right? That's okay. We don't expect everybody to go full-time. So then in the video, Samir goes through this. So when I get to this part, now I'm trying to test how well they are taking notes. And if they watch, like really watch Samir's video, some people they can't come in and they watch it 3-4 times, which is awesome because this is a whole hour orientation video. Some people like really love the orientation video. So if you're not using it, it's really silly not to use it. You have to use it. It helps you so much, cut so much time, guys. So once I get to here, I say, Brianna, this is how we're gonna help you. We're gonna teach you how to run a business and a business. And newsflash, you're already building a business just for somebody else at Starbucks. Isn't that true? So you might as well put in the time for yourself. So what are the 3 things that you need to run a business with? Let's pretend you have a restaurant. And from the video, they'll answer what they remember. If they don't remember, I know that I kind of have to hone in more on how to, what's a good potential recruit and what's a qualified client. Does that make sense? But if they have paid attention to the video, I don't really need to go into all those details as much. And once we get through that, now let's talk about the bonus and get to building their inventory. So in the orientation, I say, Tia, if somebody in your market, right, your circle of friends, family, whoever, let's say somebody's not interested. Maybe you interview them for your Taco Bell, but they want to go down to McDonald's instead. You're not going to be in your feelings, right? But wouldn't you agree that she or he can introduce you to someone else? Isn't that how you met your husband?
Sure.
Right, that's true. They met through mutual friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for your mutual friend, you would have never met your husband, right? So here, sometimes they write people off. Somebody wrote me off their list. So if you were to make a mistake, would you rather make a small mistake or a big mistake? Small mistake. Let me go through what that means. So somebody, my high school associate, wrote me on their list and they crossed me out. They said, I don't think this person will be interested. She looks like she's doing fine. Now, do you think that was fair for them to make that decision for me and I'm an adult? No, they don't know what I'm going through. So he wrote me off his list. A year later, he saw me at a big event, a graduation event, and I was competing at his same level and I beat him. He walked up to one of my teammates and said, I should have recruited her. I walked up and said, why didn't you? He goes, I didn't think you'd be interested. I said, well, that sucks because if I make $100,000, my vice president makes $100,000 every year on me. That's a pretty expensive mistake, isn't it? So you never want to make that big mistake, do you, Dante?
Yeah.
Right, so in this game, this is designed for you to make it easy for you to put down the most names, first names and numbers that just come to mind. Forget about if they're interested or not, or you think they'll be good or not. Just put them down if they're going to fit in that category. And you only have 1 minute per category. The rules are they have to be in the US and they have to be 18 or older, okay? Somebody put their turtle down. No pets, guys. Okay, we're not, okay? That's big. And if they're putting their turtle down, they probably won't stick her that long, okay? That person's not here, by the way. And then you build their list and you teach them how to run through the scripts, okay? This is where the make or break is, and this is the last thing I'll say. This is where the rubber hits the road, right? Just like with a client, things get funny when you get to the what? Money. With a recruit, things get funny when you get to, hey, it's time to make that call. How many people when you were new were nervous? Raise your hand. Be honest. If you weren't, you're kind of like an alien, okay? Look at the room. Everybody was nervous, right? So if you're brand new in here, wow, you're not alone. I know you thought your situation was special, but it's not. Okay? So when I went through this, and you learn how to work with the right people, you see certain examples. So Nora already, you guys know, has her license. Oh, it's not on here? Okay. But Clarice also got licensed. She got the biggest bonus in the whole region, right? At the big event, her bonus was $850. And now we see some people coming behind them. The right people are going to follow who's doing the right thing. And Nora has somebody like Nancy. Her bonus right now is at $1,050. Nancy immediately took me to go see her parents. I think the next, 2 days, right? After we did your fast start meeting, Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the next 48 hours. We saw her parents in person. It was a Spanish presentation. She's teaching me Spanish right now. I've been on Spanish appointments the last 2 weeks in person, okay? But Nancy's at $1,050 of a bonus. Kaya is brand new, and she's following Nora, and Kaya's been asking all 50 questions, you know? And right now, Kaya, again, she's brand new, so her bonus is only $250 right now, but she's taking her exam pretty soon. Next, I don't know, when? Next week, yeah. So if you understand how to kind of read people before you start getting even to setting appointments, you'll know if they're going to give you a bunch of fight or not. But either way, our job as a leader and our job is to take care of the recruit, because if they paid $124, they deserve for us to train them the right way. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Right? All right, guys. Team on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. See you at the top. Give it up for Samir.